I know watching the Knicks game, especially in the second half, the way the shot selection was going for the Celtics. I said it before the game. I said, I think the Celtics are going to win in 5 because they're going to have that one game where they can't hit a 3 and they will not adjust. I had no idea that it would happen that night, right? Meanwhile, the Nuggets Thunder game, I was certain it was over. It was at that point just kind of like going through the motions, the semantics. You're going to foul, going to make free throws, foul, make free throws, and then at some point we're just going to dribble it out. And Jokic has this little flurry, and then the Thunder make the mistake of fouling up 3 a little too early.
That was crazy.
But I'll tell you what, I'll give Mark Daigneault a lot of credit because he said, that's on me. The players executed what we do. This is our culture. We like doing that. We probably started a little too early. That one's on me. Which is, by the way, every coach's creed is, hey, man, we have a game plan. I want you to execute the game plan. Now, if we execute the game plan and we lose, that's my fault. I can wear it. But if we don't execute our game plan, that's something completely different.
Can I ask you what would have happened in that spot if Daigneault, if they don't foul up 3 there with 12 seconds left? And for context, Nuggets have no timeouts and Jokic is not in the game.
Yeah.
He's waiting at the scorer's table.
Yeah.
The Nuggets have the ball down by 3, 12 seconds, the clock is ticking. If they decided, no, we don't want to foul here because, the Nuggets without Jokic on the floor are an all-time terrible NBA team, what would they have done there, the Nuggets?
So Daigneault's philosophy is we foul up 3. The part where he said that was on me is that we foul up 3 in the backcourt. Like, that we shouldn't have fouled that early, that far
Yeah, they
away.
only let like 1 second tick off the clock.
Yeah, 1 second came off the clock. So that's the part where I think he would agree with you if he had it back. They still would have fouled up 3. It just wouldn't have happened that early.
Can't let Jokic back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. But again, if Chet Holmgren hits free throws, then we're probably not having this conversation right now. It was great. But Dan, there were 3 things last night from that game that I never thought I'd see. If I could I go through them with you? Number 3, an NBA player telling his coach not to review that call. Never thought I'd see that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander grabs Jokic's arm. The bench doesn't see that part. They call for a review, and Shai's like, no, don't review it. But it's too late. They've already requested it. Number 2, Russell Westbrook making the right play in the clutch. Everyone in America thought he was going head over heels straight to that rim, just going to barrel into it. And instead, he looked up and he saw Aaron Gordon in the wing and he threw it. And I said, what? Shout out to Russell Westbrook. And number 1, the number 1 thing I never thought I'd see in my life, came after the game, Ernie Johnson asking a Dan Le Batard-asked question. He asked Jamal Murray a question that took about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to get out. The best thing they did on Inside was they replayed just Jamal Murray waiting for the question to end. And he's just like he's nodding and he's closing his eyes and then he's looking around. And I just thought, wow, Ernie's learning from Dan. How about that? Never thought I'd see it.
That's funny. By the way, should Aaron Gordon get a statue?
Depends. Did they win a title this year?
Not yet.
But if they do.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No?
Okay.
I'm just curious.
I got to tell you, Westbrook making that pass to Gordon at Oklahoma City, the crowd that gave him a standing ovation as he checked in yesterday, seemingly the only fan base that actually loves him, likes him, loves him. For him to pass up attacking the basket for the game winner, instead passing it out to Aaron Gordon, one of the most shocking NBA plays I've ever seen.
I want to ask Amin and pick your brain because you know the history of the game so much. Aaron Gordon, I guess, was a missing piece and is perceived as a surprising missing piece. He's probably not the most surprising active missing piece in the league. I think maybe in terms of all-time history, that actually might be DeAaron White for Boston, what he did for Boston in that acquisition. In terms of that tier, Aaron Gordon, DeAaron White, who else in the history of the game have been more surprising championship contributors? I'm guessing you're going to harken back to a time where there wasn't the superstar era and super teams, and there were just role players that were massive for guys.
No, I'll give you 2 names. One guy is active as well, and one guy from the past. The guy from the past, Derek Fisher, out of a small school, Little Rock, Arkansas. He wasn't heralded. He wasn't like physically gifted. He was short and stout. but he was absolutely a difference maker on, 5 titles in L.A. So Derek Fisher's one. The one who's active is Gary Payton II. Because this is a guy that everyone said, not an NBA player. Like, not just, I don't know if you can win with him. It's like, this guy's not an NBA player. He's a 6'3" guard who can't shoot and really can't handle the ball. He defends very well, but offensively, where do you put him? And the Warriors said, we'll make him our power forward on offense. And he absolutely played a huge role in that 22 championship team.
Well, I don't know what Mike Ryan is doing this with the tier of Aaron Gordon. Is that 4th best player on a champion? Because the Aaron Gordon.
I think he's the 3rd best player on a champion.
Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe 3rd best player on a champion. When the Lakers won the championship with Lamar Odom as their 4th best player, that's the tier I'm talking about. And so when your 3rd or 4th best player is Aaron Gordon, and Aaron Gordon was the best player in Orlando, when he was, they were a sub-500 Orlando team. No, I mean they
had a couple years where they weren't sub 500. He clearly wasn't good enough to be a number 1.
I mean, it was a top 3.
But it was a top 3 pick, as was Lamar Odom, by the way. That's why those guys, I kind of feel like they just landed. They finally found the right place for them. Maybe not as a franchise player, but as someone who's a contributor. Whereas Peyton and Fisher are guys who are like, this is the guy. That's the missing piece.
Well, I guess to whittle it down, what I'm trying to say is, like, when they acquired Aaron Gordon, very few people were like, oh, that's going to get it done. That's going to put him over the hump. It was met with a lot of skepticism. Like, that's not going to fix it.
Right, but of course, but none of us knew what Jokic was there then, and none of us did. Nobody did. And now what I'm watching, this is the part I want to untangle with you, because what I'm watching from Denver has at its center something that in my lifetime is an unprecedented thing, who very often makes Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon or players like them a lot better than they actually are to win a championship, because that's the best offensive thing I've ever seen. So how good is Aaron Gordon? Well, probably as good as get a lot of 3rd guys, put him in there, and if Jokic is the one throwing them lobs, my guess is they're going to be as good as Aaron Gordon. A dunk champion, like a specific skill set. How much better? This is one game against OKC, but OKC now has to go through a champion, and what they have to do is go through that guy. Chet Holmgren, you're great. Your defense is great, but Chet Holmgren, you look awfully thin against that guy.
Yeah, but I mean, again, at the same time, I think Oklahoma City's defensive game plan worked for most of the night. Their game plan was, he's going to beat us. He's going to score 40, 50, whatever. He's not going to make everyone else better. He only had, I believe, 2 assists on the night last night. It worked all the way up to like 3 minutes left in the game. Again, Dan, I'm watching that game. There was nothing that indicated Denver's got a run in them and they're making a push.
But take me through the late game situation, okay? Because the legacies that are defined this time of year, a road win from a champion here is exactly how you put a young, great team in a vice grip on how it is you knock OKC out when OKC's been the best team in the sport the entire season. Yeah. And is now going through Jokic is a champion. Take me through the late game situation that makes it so that OKC just lost a game, people are saying, because their coach gave one away, and he's playing against the team that fired its coach and is going after a championship because they're saying, we don't need any coach. That guy was making it around Jokic, and we needed to get the smell of that out of the room.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot going on. When you want to talk about Denver, David Adelman talked about how everyone kind of stayed together. He said even as we were talking in those huddles and being emotional, it was all about what can we do better, not like, hey, man, you got to do – it wasn't a lot of finger pointing. And I think that happens in part because you lose a czar of a leader in Michael Malone. It becomes more collaborative maybe than it was before. You got to give Coach Adelman credit for fostering that environment. We talk about the Thunder, again – the fouling up 3 thing played a part. It wasn't the whole part. They gave up some easy baskets. Jokic kicked it up a notch. He went 4 of 6 on a 12-2 run in the last 9 minutes of the game. So he's a great player. You're not going to bottle him up forever. I think what it is the Thunder played an easy opponent in the first round, and now you're playing against a team that can legitimately beat you. And there's a difference there because it comes down to execution on both sides of the ball, and you can't let up your foot off the gas. And they did that at the end. They played perfectly for 44 minutes, and then
it's exactly how a young team loses to a champion.
Well, that's how you go. But thankfully, it's not one and done. There's 6 more games, perhaps.
I think it's a pretty massive error, the fouling up 3 there with Jokic waiting at the sideline.
I'm stunned that
I'm stunned.
I am stunned that Amin is sitting here and not crying foul the way the internet is at the mishandling of a late game situation, because you're having the perspective of, no, the players decided that game.
Yeah, because yes, it was a mistake. Yes, it made things more difficult. It wasn't like Jokic came in and hit 2 threes and that's how they lost the game, right?
They're an historically awful team when Jokic is not on the floor, and the game was on the line.
I get it. I'm not saying that I would have fouled in that situation. I'm saying when he says our culture, our philosophy is we foul up 3. And he says that one's on me that we fouled that early.
But he wasn't saying it's on me that we didn't change our philosophy in that moment, which is what should have happened.
No. I mean, he won 68 games, dude. I think
that's the thing. That's the thing. 68 games, just gave away home court.
Yeah, and you win one in Denver, and then all of a sudden you got it back. That's a crazy thing when people say, "Oh, home court." It's like, okay, you lost home court. All you got to do is win one over there, and all of a sudden you got it back.
I know, but that's a worst-case scenario for OKC in the second round of the playoffs.
To have to win one at Denver?
No, what I'm just saying is what happened last night. I mean, basketball heads like you look at OKC and say, yep, have all the things you need to beat Boston and win a championship. That team is ready to win a championship. Is it?
Yes.
Okay, because last night starts those guys have been giving fun interviews all year. They're a young team. It's great to watch them, and they're fun. But now you got to beat that player on a team that doesn't even need a coach because they got that player. And what they did is got rid of the coach so that player would be unbothered by, hey, get that stink out of here. We know who runs this thing.
I just feel like, well, unless you're telling me that Denver is going to win 3 straight games here, like Oklahoma City's not going to win any more games. Like, guys, this is the playoffs. I don't know how to explain this to you. It's not March Madness. Like, teams lose a game 1 at home and then come back and win that series. Now, if they lose game 2, now we can have this, oh my God, young team, what are they in conversation? They lost a game. I don't feel any more in jeopardy about that than the Celtics should or the Cavs should, having lost their game 1s.